Hello and welcome to Time Hack. I'm your host, the Minuteman, and today we're going to be discussing the Seiko Save the Oceans turtle. Alright guys, let's roll that intro. Okay, hey, thanks for coming by, checking out my channel, checking out this video. If you could do me a favor and drop a like, share this video, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can get the next notification of when I upload, and please do leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Yeah, let's move into the Save the Oceans turtle. So, a little backstory on Seiko and its initiatives with saving the ocean. You might ask yourself, what would a large company, why would they be interested in supporting a charity at all? Why would any company give a portion of their proceeds to anyone but themselves? So Seiko has an amazing lineup of different beautiful watches. Plenty of watches to choose from. You could get lost in the world of Seiko Kinetics or their AGS line, which could be argued one and the same, but I will certainly get into that topic in a later video should I get my hands on a Seiko Kinetic. I've already got plenty of AGS models. You can get into their dress watches with their Presage series, which is just really amazing, beautiful dials. You could pick up a Flightmaster for one of the pilot watches. There's plenty of chronographs. There's so much you can choose from. But I think we can all agree that Seiko is a powerhouse when it comes to dive watches. They have a plethora of dive watches for you to choose from. And it would make sense that if Seiko is such a big player in the world of diving, that they would want to in some way keep that market going, to give back to that community and increase their overall commitment to the customer base by helping to give the environment that these watches operate in a fighting chance. Real quick, let me discuss some of the highlights of Seiko's diving history. I won't necessarily mention too much about their dive watches in the early 60s, which are impressive in their own right and certainly beautiful now. I personally love vintage style dive watches. But in 1978, they came out with one of the first saturation divers with a quartz movement in it. So in 1978, you had quartz accuracy in a saturation diver. That's 600 meters. Then in 1982, they came up with one of the first hybrid divers. So you had an alarm, chronograph, digital, anti-display. They a couple of years later came out with in 1986 the world's first 1,000 meter diver with a ceramic outer case. Pretty impressive stuff. Then 2 years later in 1990, the world's first computerized dive watch hits the market, and who's behind it? Seiko. 1992, world's first kinetic dive watches come out. You get that automatic power generating a quartz watch. I think we all know my love for kinetic AGS watches, so I won't harp on that too much this time. Now, as for the Save the Ocean charity initiative, however you want to call it, it's tied to a particular charity, and a certain portion of their proceeds is going towards Fabien Cousteau's learning center. I believe it's called the the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Learning Center. So I always wondered, looking through the different Save the Ocean options that you have, where was that money going to? And it's going towards the foundation that the grandson of Jacques Cousteau has started. Fabien is an impressive individual, all on his own. He broke his grandfather's record for staying underwater longest. He was under the water with his team for 31 days. He's an ocean explorer and filmer, so he really cares a lot about the ocean, and I'm sure he was really excited to be able to team up with the Seiko Prospex team and come out with these wonderful watches that not only do they draw inspiration from the ocean and save it, but they can also function within the same setting. These watches have an impressive set of credentials backing them up, and let's go ahead and get into the rest of this review. So this particular watch, amazingly enough, I had the sticker on the back, but you know what? I've just been using it too much, and the sticker is just gross now. But this particular model is the 4 Romeo 36-05 Hotel 0. And this is the, according to Seiko, the whale skin pattern dial. I personally still just think it's an artistic interpretation of waves in the ocean. You got the, it's a gradient dial moving from beautiful rich black at the 6 o'clock, moving up to a light blue at 12. Your bezel matches the same scheme. You got like a darker section here, and then your first 20 minutes are a really nice lighter blue. You have a PVD coating on the bezel and the crown as well. It comes on this really nice rubber dive strap. It's got these little ridges in here that are supposed to expand and contract with your wrist. Pretty beefy buckle and keeper here, which are both signed really well. I do really enjoy this keeper. Too bad it's kind of picking up scratches. On the case itself, it's brushed, and I make sure brush and polish. So this isn't my regular studio today, because I'm visiting family, and I'm probably going to keep this pretty short. So real quick, the dimensions on this, it's a 45 millimeter, or not, 45 millimeter width. You got a lug to lug of 47 and a thickness of 13.5 millimeters. So, it's a pretty big watch. And the lug to lug is a slightly bigger than the Hamilton khaki field mechanical that I have, and that watch is like pushing it for me. Preferably, I wouldn't want to lug to lug any more than 46, but this I can make it work. Let's go ahead and talk about the bezel action. Yeah, let's bring this in closer to the mic. So, pretty nice bezel action. It's similar to the other Save the Ocean chronograph watch. So, not a really stiff bezel, easy to turn, but it sounds good. It's an automatic dive watch. It does, to my knowledge, hand wind. We got a slight pop there. And we have a gritty, gripping texture and sound as we wind up the watch. It's also hacking. So really good. The only downside I would say is this watch does have the Seiko Seiko Harlex crystal. So you're gonna pick up the scratches pretty quickly. Let's go throw her on wrist really quick here and demonstrate how it wears on my 6.5-inch wrist. Let's go move this radio. So I think it wears okay. If I were to put it on and shift her down, I think it centers up fairly well. Still a pretty big watch, but you can pick these up for brand new from like Amazon or some reputable dealer for just under $400. Secondhand, you should probably be able to pick them up for $300. I actually got this one off of a Watch Gang wheel spin, and this was the bottom of the tiers on their wheel spin. So I loaded it up with this particular watch because I've been eyeing this for a while, and I figured, okay, well, if I win the Moon Watch, the Omega Speedmaster Professional, hooray, but chances are I'm going to win that bottom barrel watch, and if this is my bottom barrel watch, it's a good day. And that's what came in the mail, and I have enjoyed it ever since. So, I would say for the money, it's great. You've got awful lot of wrist presence. It's a beautiful watch. I take this with me now whenever I'm going to do something that I'm uncomfortable with. Like I had to go do some medical stuff recently, sit in a doctor's office, get blood drawn, all that great stuff. And I was looking at this dial and just took me away from that environment. It's robust enough to where you could take this to the field if you wanted to. Legibility is pretty good. I would prefer numerals for legibility, but these big markers for these large markers are filled with lume, and it's a pretty legible watch. The handsets are great. They point really well, and there's a couple of other great details. Like the 12 o'clock has this almost sword-like feature in there. It's kind of like an Easter egg within the dial, and I'll show some macro shots of that. I've had no issues with chapter ring alignment. It looks like we're hitting all the marks just fine. The the bezel insert is slightly misaligned, but hey, that's Seiko for you. If it wasn't aligned, I'd be a little stressed out because I would think Watch Gang sent me a fake, but I think this is genuine. On the back, you're going to get your standard Seiko information, when the watch was made. Wow. When the watch was made, you get special edition on there. Pro specs. You get this great knurling on the back of your strap, so it's really comfortable, and it wicks the sweat away. So hey, I apologize if I'm kind of all over the map on this review because I'm shooting this off the cuff here, shooting from the hip. Yeah, overall great watch. I'm gonna load a bunch of macro in here. I already got most of the macro stuff I want shot, and so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Let me know what you think. This is going to be my attempt at putting out this video. I'm focusing more on the production quality versus what I'm babbling about. But overall, if I were to give this a field score, I would rate this a 7 out of 10 because it's pretty durable with exception of that Harlex. Legibility is relatively solid. Again, I would prefer numerals in a field setting. But because of that really strong loom, it makes up for it. And the handset, you can distinguish minute hand from hour hand pretty quick. And the little point helps guide your eye into the chapter ring, so you can really judge the minutes and seconds there. The only thing that I would have to gripe about is the price point. Do I think it's worth $400 new? No, I think $300 is more reasonable brand new, and I think used $200. You know, it's not the king turtle that comes with the sapphire, but you are getting a hacking hand winding movement, which that's pretty great. Day date complication is welcome. So yeah, all right guys, I'm gonna wrap this up, and then I'm gonna try to, you know, put a heavy emphasis on quality of the video throughout. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think the channel's evolved or moving in the right direction here. All right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. Always ready, always there. Minuteman out.